You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. And once you understand the mechanics, the neuroscience, and the real pathways of the law of resonance, you'll be able to get ahead of it once and for all. Now, I know this firsthand because when I first start working with clients, I will hear a sentence over and over again. Hanson, why do I keep attracting the same people, experiences, or things into my life that I don't want? Now, they may be different people, different cities, different dynamics, but always the same energy. And so once you understand the law of resonance, once you understand why you've attracted certain people, certain situations into your life, you'll be able to make the change once and for all. And that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. In today's video, we're going to cover 3 things. 1, what the law of resonance is, how it works, and the science around it. 2, I'm going to show you why traditional techniques aren't enough alone. And 3, we're going to go through the pulse framework so you can finally understand why like attracts like, but beyond just like attracts like, why you will finally break free. How the law of resonance works. So you may have heard of sayings like attracts like, or the outer world mirrors your inner world. And those things are true at their very, very heart, but they are very top level. And it's not the whole story, because if you've ever done affirmations, you've done journaling, you've done visualizations, but you haven't felt any different, then you know that simply raising your vibration isn't enough alone. You have to understand the mechanics of the law of resonance, quite literally what is resonating with your energy. And it's not your mindset at play here, it's your nervous system. Every recurring relational pattern is showing up in an unresolved internal pattern. And that's not bad luck, that's actually information for you. Think about every person who showed up in your life. The unavailable partner, the undermining boss, the friend who always takes more than they give. They're not random, they're actually a match to you and your vibrational energy, not the one you're pretending to be, but the one you truly are, the one that you learnt, the one that you grew up with, the one that you've become. And that's not necessarily a match to what you want, but it is a match to your subconscious. This at its heart is what the law of resonance is. Simply saying more affirmations, simply visualizing more, simply journaling more, and trying to become a higher vibration isn't enough. That alone will not solve or get you ahead in the law of resonance. You actually have to go a step deeper. You have to go at your subconscious level and understand, 1, what's got you here in the first place, and then 2, the energy of the person who does something totally different. Now, what's running this, you see, is the patterns that we learned from childhood. You see, 95% of our behavior is learned and programmed from us in childhood, and our default responses, not at a conscious level, but at a subconscious level. So if you grew up feeling that actually love wasn't necessarily nurturing, but actually was quite chaotic, it was argumentative, it was disruptive, then as much as you will tell your conscious mind that you don't want those things as you grow into adulthood, your subconscious is going to keep pulling you back to that, because that is what love, that is what connection felt like for you, and is what's been programmed into you. And the first step here is to really understand that, become the observer of that, not the reactor to it. Because once you can observe it, you can see the pattern very clearly for what it is. And again, don't take this as a personal failing. It's not. This is simply how the brain and your brain has learned over time. But what can be learned can be unlearned and rewired. Part 2. Why can't traditional techniques reach this? So if you're someone who's watching this and you've done your affirmations, you've done journaling, you'll understand what I'm about to say. Those techniques in and of themselves are not a problem. They absolutely work. But they only work once you understand the foundation from which you're building them on. And if that foundation itself, that subconscious layer, has associated safety with chaos, with disruption, with trauma, then the affirmations that you're saying, you're trying to pierce your subconscious through your conscious mind. And it can never work that way. It has to work the other way. It has to be subconscious upwards to conscious. And recent research by people like Dr. Bessel van der Klerk has showed us that actually trauma itself isn't just held in our mind, it's also held in our body. It's held in physical responses, which is why if you've ever encountered certain situations, and maybe these have been opportunities, but something's held you back, quite literally you felt sick in your stomach, blocked in your throat, an ache in your head, that is that trauma coming to the surface, quite literally. Because you see, the way that our brains and our minds are wired is always for safety. And so at a nervous system level, you can't tell your conscious mind, I am worthy, I am love, I am wealthy, I'm a millionaire, I'm with the love of my life, if subconsciously it has programmed you to believe that you're not worthy of money. Love is chaos. Your trauma is what keeps you safe. And those are programs running behind the scenes in your subconscious that you need to start to really observe. And once you can observe them, you can rewire them. This in many ways is an anti-technique moment. You see, this is why you can say an affirmation. This is why fundamentally your nervous system isn't listening to it, because it doesn't believe it. So it's not permeating, and it can't go from conscious mind to subconscious. It has to go from subconscious to conscious. And this is exactly what I teach in the Pulse method. And I'm going to share steps now in this next section for you to start to rewire, not from conscious into subconscious, but from subconscious into your conscious mind. Part 3, how you can control it once and for all. There are 3 steps I'm going to share with you today. But if you're interested in more, have a look at the link in the comments and download the Pulse method. It's what I've taught to over 200 clients over the last 5 years to help them transform their identity to the person who has it all. More money, more love, more connection, more genuine direction than they've ever had in their lives. Why? Because I have personally cultivated this framework for over 10 years. I've coached it for 5, but I've crafted it for over 10. Why? Because actually everything starts not with a technique. It starts firstly with a release. It first starts with purge. And so step 1 is see the pattern clearly. And what you're going to do here, you're going to name the pattern without making yourself wrong for it. So what you need to do is take a piece of paper, draw from left to right a timeline of your life and put in there 4 boxes. Childhood, teenage, early adulthood, last 5 years. And in those 4 time frames, I want you to think about the people you've had in your life. They may be parents and guardians, loved ones, close connections, friends. Look at those things. What's the underlying pattern? Not the person, the dynamic across those 4 timelines. Was it abandonment? Was it control? Was it not being seen? What is the emotional signature? Because that is what your body, your nervous system has defined as keeping you safe. And that's the pattern we need to recognize first. Number 2, trace it to its origin. Now that you've had the chance to map out some themes, the question isn't why do I attract this? The question is, when did this first appear? It could have been a moment from your childhood, perhaps a moment from your teenage years. Maybe it was someone who left. Maybe it was someone who you saw suffer, but they said that was okay. Maybe it was you witnessing certain things and believing that was normal. Map the territory. Find the pattern that your brain has been calling normal. Now, when you can see it, and I mean really see it, not just intellectually, but feel the compassion really for the person who had to learn it, something will shift here. Because what you're starting to do is you're starting to call it out. You're starting to shine a spotlight on it, not as someone who reacts to it, but as from someone who's observed it. And they're starting to take the power back for them. Part 3, create a new nervous system experience. Now, the law of resonance here isn't simply a mindset shift. It's something that you can put little action to day by day by day, by observing it and by understanding what you actually want. Not a tick box, not a list of the characteristics of your dream partner. Energy, the energy of the connection. What does it feel like to be loved? How do you bring that connection to you? You don't have to have a partner to bring that energy of love into your life. That might be about certain treats that you have. It might be about taking a walk together, but a walk that you can still do solo. What is the energy of that dynamic? Now, you see, what we're starting to teach here in our body is a different relational experience. So what I want you to do before you meet someone new, maybe it's a date, it's a new connection, it's a catch up with a friend. And if this is someone you've had difficulties with before, do this breathing exercise right now. Before that, you're going to spend 2 minutes in extended exhale breathing. So 6 seconds in, 8 seconds out. Do that for 2 minutes. Why? Because that will instantly calm your nervous system. And from that, you can then ask yourself a question, which is, who do I want to be? What are those little things I'm going to do in this connection, in this experience, in this dynamic, that are going to start to drive me towards them? Now, why does this work? Because you're starting to rewire your nervous system that this new behavior, this new dynamic is the new normal. And you have to start with little steps first. But once you start with little steps, and for a bonus, celebrate those little steps, journal about them, tell yourself how awesome that was that you did that, the benefits of it, what you unlocked by doing it, the more and more your nervous system associates that feeling as normal. And that is the new foundation at which you are getting ahead of the law of resonance. Because what is resonating with you now is not trauma, it's not chaos, it's not disruption, it's calm, it's stability, it's a real partnership, it's a real connection. And that is you living in true high vibe energy, not telling yourself that you're going to be in high vibe, but becoming high vibe itself. I hope that's helped. Nervous system realignment and rewiring is one of the hardest tasks in your manifesting journey. And if you want my help with it, please see the link in bio where you can book a free discovery call and see how I can help accelerate your journey. But whether you would do that or whether you do something else, be committed to yourself. Make this a habit, because only you can rewire to the most brilliant version of you. And you can do it, and you will do it. I'm rooting for you.